In this module, the second of the module about the wheel of life, we are looking at managing energy instead of just time. Everything you have learned so far about the wheel of life emphasized the interrelatedness of the different areas of one's life, including family, friends, career, health, and a higher purpose. Today, we are exploring the conventional focus on time management rather than splitting your energy according to your priorities. Look, we tend to focus on how we split up our time instead of how we split our energy. But the amount of energy we put into something correlates with what we get out of it, and not just time. Have you ever put tons of time into something and not had the result? When we shift our thinking to the energy we put into something instead of just our time, it is almost sure to relieve pressure in our lives. As a valuable personal resource, energy is a huge part of achieving the desired outcome. This knowledge is important because you should not only look at how and where you spend your time, but also how you manage and spend your energy. This is a huge paradigm shift that can revolutionize your lives. Once you understand and apply this concept, it will probably improve your work, your stress, your relationships, and other areas of your life. For some, this alone could bring the outcome they are seeking. For others, it will help them focus better on other areas they do need to shift to get to their outcome. So with that, let's get started and look at how to best manage and balance your energy for the best results. Energy leadership. While you can never give someone 100% of your time, you can give them 100% of your energy at any time. For example, if a parent is sitting on the sofa with their child and the parent is on their phone the whole time, then their child is getting time with the parent, but they are not getting any of their energy. By energy, I mean presence, attention, awareness. When people say they want your time, they actually want your energy. This is an important distinction for you to understand. You may be having family issues, yet you feel that you are giving your family plenty of time. But are you giving them your energy, presence, awareness, attention? You can see that simply adding more time to something and not energy could result in two things. You are not getting the outcome you expect when you spend more time in one area. You are sacrificing too much from one of the other areas, which limits your opportunity to invest energy there. Remember that without time, you can also not spend energy. Therefore, it is a good idea to start by monitoring the time spent in different areas. Create a log of each of the 5 elements of the wheel of life. Track the amount of time you spend in each of these during the week. Reflect and track the percentage of energy during this time. The way you track energy is out of scale of 100. Ask the questions to make an accurate reading. How engaged are you? Is your mind wandering? Are you worrying or thinking about the other things when you are with your family or friends? How much are you focused on the task or activity in hand? Most people are somewhere in the middle of the scale, but not usually at the either end. At least not for reasonable periods of time. Time is an external construct. We cannot control it. We get 24 hours each day. Once time has passed, it can never be recovered. it can never be replenished. You can never get yesterday back. We all know that. It's the inconvenient truth. Energy, on the other hand, it's an internal resource. We can control it, we can monitor it, we can understand it. While it is not exactly infinite, it is not a fixed amount either. It can be variable, and we can expand the amount we have when we manage it well. We can replenish our energy. Think of human energy the way you think of battery energy. Your mobile phones needs to be recharged. If you have an iPhone, it may go into low battery mode. That means once you charge, you now gets below a certain percentage, let's say around 20%. Its functionality is reduced until you recharge the phone. This allows the phone to continue longer but not as effectively. If humans do not replenish their energy, they too become less efficient and less effective. We get snappier, angrier, more pressure. Think about a time when you were studying for exams or working late on a project at home or at work. You noticed that your productivity decreased as you got late into the night or early into the morning. You can stay there and stare at the project for an hour and get almost nothing done. You give it time, an hour, but no energy. What about reading a book while being preoccupied? You realize that you just read a couple of pages, but you have no idea what information or plot it contained. So you have to go back and read again. Again, time, no energy. To illustrate that point, a few years ago, a new workplace epidemic was coined as presentism. The workers were present but not productive due to other factors, which include things like stress, anxiety, depression, family issues, personal issues from outside the workplace, and of course, money issues. All of these were identified as the most common distractors. Essentially, it is similar to absenteeism, where workers call off sick and don't go to work. But instead of staying home, they showed up. They were just not very productive. They were giving their time to their job, but not their energy. Their energy was elsewhere. The engagement trap. So, this is critical principle for everyone to remember, as they can have it all, just not all at the same time. We are brainwashed to believe that everything needs equal attention, that we can't give attention to ourselves. We can't take time to replenish and sharpen ourselves. We have been taught to look at balance at splitting time. What we need to look at, instead of managing and sharing energy at optimal levels where it is important, it is about managing our energy more than managing our time. That's why the concept of energy leadership is vital in achieving fulfillment and success. Energy proportion. Having to balance energy is complete misconception. I know that it is a tough pill to swallow for most people. But let's look at the five elements of the wheel of life and from the perspective of balancing energy. If you divide your energy 20% to each of the five areas, that adds up to 100%. Like, let's say that's our battery life. In other words, your 100% divided by 5 is 20% for each area. But we already said that you only get out of something what you put into. It means that if you only give something 20%, you're only going to get back 20% or potentially even less. Do you think your family wants or deserves just 20% of your energy when you are with them? Or do they deserve 100% of your energy, or 80% of your energy, or something high up on the scale, right? You can't give 100% all of the time either. One of the biggest mind shifts in understanding energy proposition is being aware of what percentage of energy you are giving to any one area or task at any one time in the context of how important that area or task is to you. You have to understand you can have it all, just not all at the same time. The biggest challenge in life is that we try to have it all and we want it all right now. And balance is different in quantity and quality. This is the essence. We think about balance as splitting up our quantity and time, but we should be thinking of balance of splitting our quality and energy. We believe that balance is to divide our time equally while not thinking about what it means to share our energy equally. When people say to themselves that they have split their time fairly, it relieves them of anxiety caused by pressure, stress, guilt, blame, or obligation. When I was in a journey of life coach, I learned about this principle. There are three things that we are always told we need in life to be successful, namely health, wealth, and time. Right? Who can disagree? And this comes from the great epic Mahabharata. Now, see, balance is a myth in the way we know it. I'm going to redefine the idea of balance for you. And I think about this as dynamic balance. You will find great value in the new principles. Even if you say that you already know this, I guarantee that in your life you are feeling pain in areas because you are trying to balance the wrong way or have the pressure balance hanging over you. You experience pressure because you want to be everything to everyone all the time. You want to be Superman or Wonder Woman. You want to be able to do everything, crush everything, and be everything to everyone all of the time. And even if you tell you no, balance isn't real. You are still clinging to this idea deep inside of you. The reason why you are in pain, that you are still are trying to achieve that balance and you are constantly falling short, blaming yourself and often blamed by others. So even if you think and know in theory or have heard it before, there is no such thing as balance, but we are still aiming for it somewhere deep down because it's been conditioned into us. You are still aspiring and hoping to achieve it. That finding the right balance is the penance of all your troubles. Remember, we can have it all, just not all at the same time. You can try to prolong your health, build your wealth, and divide your time equally to achieve success. Of course, I want you to be healthy, wealthy, and wise all of the same time for the rest of your life. But what I'm saying is that when we simply divide our time equally and expect each area to pay dividend, it does not really work like that, right? Unfortunately, it's the truth. It doesn't work like that. When you put 20% into something, what do you think you're going to get back? Of course, 20%. When you put 60% into something, you can expect a 60% return. You always receive what you put in the form of energy. The problem is that we are so busy spending our time equally that we lose focus on the importance of energy management. So you turn up that class, but you are tired. You turn up for that family dinner, but you have no energy. The other biggest mind shift regarding energy proportion is understanding that downtime is not only good, it is necessary. You may have heard the story about the woodcutters. There were two woodcutters who decided to hold a competition and see who could cut the most wood. They started at the same time and the same place. After an hour, the first one stopped cutting. The second one felt victorious because he was not yet tired. 10 minutes later, the first woodcutter resumed. An hour later, the first one stopped again for 10 minutes. The second woodcutter, tasting victory, continued on all day. At the end of the day, to his surprise, the second woodcutter actually cut less than the first. When he asked the first how he cut so much more wood than he kept taking a 10 minutes break every hour, the first woodcutter pointed out that every hour he stopped to sharpen his axe. The second woodcutter was practically hammering at the wood by the end of the day with the blunt edge of his axe, while his competitor continued to cut with a sharper and sharper blade. The moral of the story is that we all need to stop and sharpen our blades periodically. Downtime does not mean stop working on your current project and check your emails, your phone messages, and give in to other distractions. This is more like slow time or rest time, or spending a part of your valuable energy on something that may not be productive or relevant. It is like stopping cutting the trees, your main focus, to cut branches or slice food. It still dulls the blade. But even if it doesn't dull the blade, it doesn't sharpen it either. We are not escaping, not elevating. The way we sharpen the axe is replenishing our energy by stepping away for a while, by being mindful of our sensations and energy in the present moment. It may require physical rest. It may also be exercise, going for a walk, or clearing your mind in another way. We think of breaking down our time and everything we do based on quantity and time, when actually what you need is to do is focus on quality and energy. Notice the difference between quantity and time and quality and energy. The difference is life changing. Today, moving from the unusual misconception about the quantity of time to the real value of quality of time. Today, moving from the unusual misconception about quantity of time to the real value of quality of time, we transcend from the concept of time to the concept of energy. That is it. When to switch from your mindset about the importance of time and quantity to utilizing your energy and quality better. Now, this does not mean you should ignore time management. Not at all. That's not the point I'm making. After all, spending energy has to do with time too. But here is the thing, you want to realize that your priority should be bringing quality energy everywhere, right? You want to turn up for that family dinner with energy, or spend time 30 minutes with someone with energy. The thing to remember about time and energy is that energy multiplies time. When you apply zero energy over a long time, you will still end up with zero results. Whereas when you spend maximum energy over a short period, you ought to get good results if you choose a worthwhile activity. To represent this in a memorable formula, listen to this. Just enough time multiplied by maximum energy multiplied by the importance of task equals the outcome. But remember that bursts of high quality effort quickly deplete energy. So remember, to replenish, often by taking a break, sharpen your saw, and taking in enough fuel in the form of good nutrition and good rest. So, do this assignment we mentioned earlier, where they create the log of the 5 elements of the wheel of life and see where you give your time and where you give your energy for a week. You can reflect on the information when you are done. You can also complete the assignment once based on what you think your week is like in terms of time and energy, and then track an actual week and see how close or how far apart you were to reality. Alternatively, you can complete the exercise using your own activities to gain more awareness. That's it for now on the topic of how to best manage time, energy, and quality on tasks that align with your values and your goals. Final thoughts before we go. After this lesson, you appreciate the difference between time and energy and quantity and quality. You know that dividing time equally without assigning maximum energy doesn't really work. And here is the thing, you realize that spending time without investing energy does not give you the outcome you probably expect, and that you will end up feeling disappointed and being disappointing to others. Why this important realization? You can apply the concept that time multiplied by energy multiplied by the importance of a task yields the best results, and you know the necessity to replenish your energy regularly. Next time, we discuss the principles of success that also includes some more energy management tips. But before you join the next lesson, please remember to do the practical exercises first. Until next time, keep up the good work and let happiness be a choice that spreads joyful colors in your life.